we're back in year 3, week 14 of the Dolphins franchise. Not sure if you've been paying attention to news going on in the NFL, but Joey Bosa just signed a 5-year, $135 million extension with the Chargers, which I think is great for him. ESPN released an article, and it wasn't a terribly long read, but I was glancing over it, and there was a part where they were talking about, or it got mentioned, the NFL and NFLPA had agreed on a lower salary cap. So not effective, but assuming that the 2021 season, this upcoming season, is going to be played without fans. Let's just say that happens, right? Because of how the NFL does its salary cap, that's going to be a horrible kick. How they do their salary cap each year is more money comes in, salary cap increases, more for the owners, more for the players. Everyone's happy. Because it's pretty much a year-to-year basis, if money decreases, if income decreases, well, someone has to take pay cuts. That the salary cap is, the NFL and NFLPA had agreed to a minimum, as in the salary cap cannot go lower than, it was $175 million. And I realize that's a large amount of money. However, $175 million for an NFL team, there are teams that have, for 2021, not including a rookie reserve, not including anything, just contracts that are currently on the books. There's a team that has $260 million already on the books for 2020, for the 2021 offseason. I think that is huge, absolutely huge. Twofold. I think it will help reset different positions where the contracts have become inflated, where you have where you have players making where you have players making an obnoxious amount of money at different positions that aren't really warranted. And you can read into that however you want. I'm not saying it's quarterbacks. I think quarterbacks have got good quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes have gotten good deals. I would say receiver markets tend to get inflated. Running back is inflated because the lifespan of a running back, you're not guys like Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson. Don't stay in bounds, damn it. There's just not really a need to pay them the amount of broken ribs. Are you serious? Okay. There's not really a need to pay him that much money. You could even say offensive lineman, like the contract that Laremy Tunsil signed this past offseason is just, I don't think he's worth $22 million a year. So during different points, I'm going to read off teams that are in 2021. This is, again, without a rookie reserve, are already under the $175 million threshold. And then I'm going to read off the top 3 that are on the opposite end of the spectrum and have completely blown salary cap. And to anyone that's thinking like, oh, you just cut them or you renegotiate or whatever, all that does is just shift dead money to the following year. You're passing the buck. Now, teams might do that, but if you recall back in like 2010, 2011, when the Saints were fielding a not a garbage team, but a lower talented team, because they weren't able to go out and get veterans, because they weren't able to get the players that they needed, because they were just having to build internally instead of having to go and have these have the money to be able to address needs through free agency. They had to build through They had to build through the draft, which took the Saints a little bit to become as dominant as people in recent memory will associate with them. They've been good, and they were good in the time frame, but it was also along the same time as the Bounty Gate. So there were issues that the Saints were working through. So 2021 spending, and this is there's different amount of players on these teams. So again, the website I'm getting this from is overthecap.com. It's usually where I get a lot of my contract information or team information. I like it because it gives a breakdown. It also tells you when you could potentially cut a player and not have to worry about dead money on the team's books. So team with the the team that is well under the 175, and I'm going from team that is most under to pretty much right at the cusp. One second after this play. So the Colts have $101 million in active contracts. They have Patriots have 121, Chargers have 121, Jaguars have 126. Oh, what the crap? Why are people getting hurt now? Jaguars have 126, Bengals have 138. And again, the goal is to be, if the salary cap is more than 175, then these teams are sitting pretty. Then, you know, you can have a Colts team that can, broken thumb, seriously, that can go out and get players that they need and address whatever needs that they have. Let's see, where's I at? Washington Redskins are at 144, Jets are at 149, Ravens are at 151, Cardinals are at 153, Bucks are 156. And I will get... Please? Thank you. Okay. The Seahawks are also at 156, Broncos are at 160, Rams 163, Dolphins 164, Panthers 168, Giants 170, 49ers 170, Lions are $200,000 over the 175 bottom line cap spot, or cap that was agreed by the NFL and NFLPA. That's not including a rookie reserve. That's not including... All it is taking current players that are on contracts and then moving 1 year, re-adding in the numbers, and seeing what the total expenditure is. I think that for some teams that's great. I really want the salary cap, or I really want contracts to go back to become a little bit more workable. And workable isn't even the right word. I think some players are just overpaid. Some positions are just overpaid. And I'm not a fan of... I realize that football has the entertainment that's holding. Has the entertainment value. I understand that, and I am entertained by football. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think some... I'm just not a fan. I like the overnight millionaire feeling of like the guys that are taking in the first round. I love that. But I don't like the guys that sign ridiculous contracts. I think it's more reflective of the teams and the player. It's just, I see the big numbers and was like, okay. Or the guys that make statements that like, hey, my family can't live off of $25 million a year. Like, well, buddy, I don't know if you know this, but there are people that are living off of $25,000 a year. So, would you figure that out? And I'll go, and after this drive, there we go. Okay. So, at the opposite end of the spectrum, you have teams that have completely blown their salary cap. And I'm not bashing on these teams. I am not saying that these teams are poorly managed. I'm simply stating the statistics and the numeric fact that they don't have money. So the Eagles lead this at $269 million in contracts on the books. If the salary cap increases, right, for whatever reason it goes up, let's just say it does. Say the new TV deal, it's just through the roof. ESPN pays them whatever. ABC, NBC, Fox pays them whatever. It's not going to go up to 260. It might hit 220, maybe. I don't even think that's realistic. So, for a team to be $40 million, $50 million over the current cap, and you don't do that. You don't. That's not how you build a successful franchise, or can keep a successful franchise together. Because I know you got Fletcher Cox on the books, and you got Wentz on the books. I think Bradham's still there. Graham is still there. There's guys on the books with contracts that are just ridiculous. Second highest team, you have the Saints, and third highest are the Falcons. The Saints are at $249 million, and the Falcons are at $216 million. If, in my mind, two teams have common denominators. There are players, and you can read into this however you want. There are players on that team that are overpaid and haven't performed, or haven't performed recently. And if me personally, I as a GM, right? Let me just put that hat on. If I had to cut 15 players to get back under the salary cap, or if I could just cut one, there are very few players in the NFL, very few, that if you cut, you can't find a replacement for, or that if you cut, there's no one in any sort of draft position or draft group or whatever. You can't get a replacement either through draft free agency or other means. And I don't think I think you could get a replacement for Matt Ryan, and it would probably be pretty cost effective. That's my opinion. And I think for the Eagles to be $269 million deep in 2021, a year that is, a year that looks like it's gonna be a little rough, or an offseason where it'll be a little rough, you can't really trade them, because if you trade them, you bring in probably draft picks, right? Because that's how you're going to end up having to build, but that just increases your rookie reserve. So you'd have to trade fat contracts for late round draft picks, and I think if I'm a GM for another team and I realize that they're wanting to do that, guys like Fletcher Cox, I would do that. Carson, I wouldn't do. I'd be like, no, you guys have to figure something else out. Teams are going to bid on those players and get them, because Fletcher Cox is a different maker. Carson Wentz could be a different maker if they're a team, if it's a lower tier team. But I don't hit out of bounds. Yay. I just have a hard time buying. I don't know. The Saints have a great offensive line. I don't think they give up the offensive line. They're not giving up Drew. They're not giving up Michael Thomas. I would really have to look at where that money is going to fully grasp or understand, like, hey, this is why they're spending. This is why they're so high on the cap. The Falcons and the Eagles, I think, are relatively easier to fix than the Saints. The Saints, because they're so talented, and I can't really think of, aside from, because Lattimore hasn't signed his new. Oh, that's a pick. That's a pick all day. I should have floated that. Wow. I just don't get it. I can't really think of anyone that has a huge Teron Armstead. But I mean, maybe there's a market for Armstead. There should be, but I don't know if the Saints move on from him. Andrews Pete, he might be sucking up a little bit more cap than what he should. But I don't know. I also think it's notable that the Patriots, with the players that they have, are only at $125 million, because just thinking about how the Pats as an organization work, it will be telling to see what in that offseason, if they are buyers of teams having to offload contracts and talent. I think most likely they would be. I would be surprised if they weren't. Particularly if they're not older players, but players that fit the mold that Bill Belichick is looking for. I think that they could end up buying a lot of those players and sucking a lot of those players up and getting solid production out of them.
is on here as they try to get 3 before half. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. He had the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it.
Yay!
So that would have been some. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half.
Something I've debated about doing in between, well, when this series, this franchise ends, and between then and when I get Madden 21, I will try, I don't know if it's possible, but I will try to put together a, oh, that's why, because I thought I was throwing to Gesicki, but Gesicki's hurt, and, yeah, I screwed up there. I will try to make a video on how to build a Dolphins team in Madden 21, but I'm going to do it in Madden 20, and I'm just going to, I'll probably start a franchise, do it with active roster, pool players, give them contracts, edit them, and whatever, so that way there's, I wouldn't, if I sign a 49 overall rookie, and I name him, for the sake of argument, I just totally, Tua. I named Tua Tagovailoa. I wouldn't be able to cut or trade him because I would take a cap penalty because I would give him what Tua's rookie contract is. Does that, are you serious right now? Jesus. That's the second one. Great. So, I'm going to try to work on that. I don't know if it's doable, but I would imagine it is. I've got a rough idea on how to build that team. I would also make trades for players. Like I wouldn't recreate Kyle Van Noy. I would just trade for Kyle Van Noy. And then from there I would slide people around. I would, because Madden 21, because the player ratings are already out, I would take Kyle Van Noy in Madden 20 and make him Kyle Van Noy's for Madden 21. I think it's doable. I am relatively sure that it is doable. I just not entirely sure how much time it's going to take. Yeah, I would imagine it would take me a couple hours to devote that much detail into player overall and player attributes and skill sets. Because even going out and getting someone like Emmanuel Ugba, it might be a little difficult. I really hope he doesn't make this. 49 yards, no way. Wide. Nope, sunk it. Wow. He kept it online and managed to tuck it into the bottom right. Oh well. I'll just quit messing around. I'll probably just go to big sets. I can be successful out of that.
Says not this time, able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise, I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one,
but yeah, I think doing that will help give people an idea of, come 21, this is what you can do, this is where you can slide people, and this is an idea of how their overall should be affected. Like if I take like Christian Wilkins, who was a right end to start this season or this franchise. In 21, they have him listed as a right end. He slimed to D tackle. Does he gain overall points? Does he lose overall points? God, 3.8 yards per carry. I mean, that's not.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Here we go, D, get off the field. Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4.
Operating from the gun. Weaver.
Watch the screen.
Seriously? 3 picks. Man, this is, what is going on with me?
Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually.
There we go. Good job, Sherman. Oh, he gained a yard? What?
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
I can't believe I lost 2 players to broken ribs and I think a broken hand or something, broken finger or something like that. Did he catch? Oh, it's Eric Rowe because he's my other slot. Spread and thin at the corner position. You know what?
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Ryan. He's got Hooper on the short connection. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Throwing again on 2nd down. Ryan. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
I mean, he's going to get hit.
The quarter breaks. Ryan now to throw on 3rd.
There we go.
Nowhere to escape.
Thank you, Barnett.
Back now in Miami. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th.
Yep, he's gonna sink that.
Split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and they will cut
I can't believe I don't know what's going on with me offensively. I don't know where my head's at.
To get back in the game, the field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race.
Oh, that's
in the AFC.
3 tight ends.
And for
Let's
them,
go.
it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they
Gonna go a
hold on
little
to
bit
number 1
of the.
And this is where
Yeah, I still have mesh on the other one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with a little bit of a big set here. Just try to power it in there. I mean, I can't. I don't win games. Seriously? I was gonna say I don't win games when I turn the ball over 3 times, but you know that was almost a 4th one.
But a teammate comes along and scoops it up.
Jesus.
It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Buying time to his left. He's going to take off with it. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down. Well, there you go.
All right.
Your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time, and that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was
There we go. God, that's an ugly stat line.
Very strong gain of 24.
Man.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
No, I scrambled. Oh, man.
And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure was there, Bill.
Staying on the ground, it's Love. And they corral him just a couple yards.
Seriously?
Out of the end zone. Now it's stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. We'll get an update when we come back to Miami. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll run here with Henderson. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Back to throw. Weaver. That is caught by Williams.
Woo! There we go. No, I'm not gonna have fun looking at the injury report after this game.
His 10th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Extra point good by Prater, and the lead now up to 14.
Does it tell me the time frame right now, or does it just say TBD? I think it just says TBD. Mm-hmm.
So this drive spans 7 plays, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins.
Great.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. But
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
There we go.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
I was late there.
After the sack on first down, Ryan.
Yeah, I didn't time that right at all. Oh, that's right. I forgot about Ridley.
The Falcons on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. To throw is Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line.
Here we go.
Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Oh, something else I read on the EA website was about different player archetypes, particularly with mechanics when they're ball carriers. And keep in mind, you have elusive backs, you have power backs, you have different types of a receiving back. So in Madden 21, you're going to have player archetypes, like you'll have a deep threat wide receiver, but if they are a 6'6" deep threat wide receiver, they will be like deep tall. There's subsections to more or less break down how they move with the ball. With the ball in their hands, and like Julio Jones's stride and footwork is different than Tyreek Hill's. They might be around the same speed, at least when they came out of college, but you're going to see more of a breakdown, and I think 21 will do a bit of a different explanation on why different players run or move differently than, dang it, each other. I know even in was it for power back, because and the reference that I saw was it used C.J. Henderson as an example and Derrick Henry. While yes, they are both power backs, Derrick Henry has more speed, so then you're looking at, okay, well, is he a speedy power back, where he is where he has the power to break tackles and stiff arm and do all the other stuff, but he actually has a top end speed, he has acceleration and top end speed and agility to give him the ability that when he gets an angle or when he gets outside the tackles, he can still run sweeps and stretches and whatever else without having to, I'm dead. Okay. Without the mechanics being strained for him, without it looking unnatural and unbelievable that Derrick Henry would actually be able to make those runs.
Right there. 50. Go, Jackrabbit, come on.
From the gun, Weaver. He's going to loft one deep over the... That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big pickup there, and without question, that should be more than enough to wrap this one up. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Looking to throw. Weaver. This is caught. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown.
That's the way you make it spin,
From 17 yards out, and the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Prater for the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now, one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. So, a victory here for the Miami Dolphins, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball
God.
out of the offense. They had 3 takeaways
That
in
is
this one.
an ugly yardage total.
So for the Dolphins, the streak.
Oh, I thought it just froze. I was about to be. I would have been happy to get the players back, but I would not have had. I wouldn't have been happy about having to redo. Good. Here we go. Having to redo this spiel. Yeah, streak. Ooh. Pass rush move. Huh. 6 weeks. So I might get him at the Super Bowl or Conference Championship? Seriously? Damn it. You know, I was rewatching. Well, I was finally got around to uploading Year 3, and I started to have regret and like buyer's remorse about trading for Bryce Love. Might not, because I might. Aw, didn't mean to hit that. I might actually end up needing him a lot more than what I ever thought I was gonna need him. Seriously? 5 and 6 weeks. It's okay. So 4 puts him at the wild card round. 5 is division. 6 is conference. I'm gonna have to go through. I'm gonna end up turning into a power running. Wait, I don't even know why I was talking about Bryce Love. I didn't lose Henderson. Jesus. And honestly, me having Bryce Love isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just haven't utilized Gus Edwards as much as I thought I was going to. And then Kai Blades, I don't even think I have him in the Offensive Rookie of the Year conversation. Oh no, he's 5th. Huh. Who'd have thunk it? I'm gonna see if any of my practice squad need to be upgraded. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then I'm just going to end this video, and I will upgrade my practice squad in between videos. Be sure to catch the next one for Week 15 against the Panthers, and hopefully I don't lose anyone else to injury. Thanks for watching.